Good morning, everybody. I'm T.A. Walker from Tayson, South Florida. And good morning, Victoria. How are you?
Pretty good. Enjoying the concept of fall. It's technically
The
fall.
concept, but not the actual feel of fall. There's so much to unpack this morning. I don't even know where to start. We have a new hurricane in the tropics. Something super weird happened last night at the Maroon 5 concert I want to talk to you about. We're going to catch up on Brian Laundrie. Jupiter actually has been named one of the 10 best places to dive, so we'll tell you about that. Some more stuff going on with Haiti that we want to get to. And then the 5 fun things to do this weekend and our hidden gem. So let's get started. First, it's Hurricane Sam. That's a new, right?
Yeah, it really has rapidly intensified. It just became a tropical storm yesterday, already a hurricane, and it looks like it's going to intensify through the weekend. I've got the forecast here from James Whelan.
I know you got a big update for us.
Yeah, Sam became a hurricane. Rapid intensification continues here with this one. Remember, this was just a depression 24 hours ago. Now it's a Cat 1 hurricane, 75-mile-per-hour winds. It's a rather small, compact storm for now. It's expected to grow in strength and in size here, really, for the upcoming days. In fact, now the forecast has it becoming a Category 4 hurricane. With 130-mile-per-hour winds, and that's by Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. So that quickly, we're going to all bump up to all the way up to 130 miles per hour. Should level off, though, after that as it starts to turn north of the islands. Only a couple of models here maybe brush the Leeward Islands there before turning up to the north. It does look like it'll continue to turn up to the north, though, with a big trough in the east. But we'll definitely keep an eye on it here. Here's the model trend here. You see keeping it well north of the islands. European model not listed here, but it's still a little bit farther down to the south. Elsewhere, this is the remnants of Odette. It's a big gale out there, but it could acquire some tropical characteristics and become tropical. It only has one more day before it does that. Actually, only 12 hours before that. This here, we could keep an eye on this. It has a low chance to develop. This will stay off the northeast coast, though, and then this next one coming off the coast of Africa does have a chance to develop down the road once it comes off over the weekend.
All right, thanks, James. So, yeah, we just have to stay vigilant. I know it sounds so corny to say that, but October is when I remember the biggest hurricanes. When I get into my Facebook memories, I'm like, okay, we're in a hurricane or we're doing Wilma or whatever we were doing. It always feels like for me, it was in October, the ones that were more intensified. I know that's not historically correct, but that's what it feels like for me.
It actually is historically correct for Florida. I was looking this up. We've had 11 major storms in October in recent years. And, we always think the summer is really bad, but in Florida, it's still, it's still warm here. We're still going to have hurricanes. So through October, we're not done with hurricane season yet.
Well, Storm Team 5, First Alert meteorologists, they'll all keep you up to date with what's going on with that. Okay, so I got to talk about the weird thing that happened at Maroon 5 last night. So
good weird or bad weird?
I'm not sure. I'll let everyone make their own opinion. So if you don't know, some artists are requiring venues to have people show them their proof of vaccination or get a 48-hour negative COVID test. That's for everybody. And so everybody who bought these tickets to Maroon 5, most of which probably bought them last year when it was supposed to actually be. This is a rescheduled concert from pre-pandemic times. So you see there's lines for fully vaccinated, what have you. Oh, right there is a rapid testing thing. That came about at the last second, I'm told. And for $39.99, you could get a rapid test in 10 minutes. So then you could go into the venue. However, when I went to go see, when we started covering this, I noticed that there were people that weren't exactly, sorry. I noticed that there was people that were they're handing their cards to the people that were checking them, said negative, right? Like right here, this beautiful lady is handing over, and most people didn't provide their ID with it. So people were just taking a piece of paper that said negative and went through the line. Now, some people didn't get the text or email. Maybe they bought their tickets from a third-party vendor. So they're upset that they didn't know that they needed to provide this documentation. So I saw people handing that got through handing their vaccination cards to people using the same vaccination card and going in. So my question is, does this extra layer of precaution really do anything if we're not checking IDs with vaccination cards?
Like anything, if you're not enforcing it, then it doesn't. If you're not checking IDs at the bar, then yeah, a 19-year-old could buy a drink. It kind of comes down to the responsibility of the venue there, but that's,
Right. That's my question. So if you guys have any comments on that, feel free to do it. I talked to Diane in Wellington last night, and here's what she had to say about it.
That your tickets, they're only taking proof on the phone as well as the vaccination on the phone, but they wanted printed proof of a negative COVID test. And I said the best is when you get the negative COVID test, it says negative, and the next sentence says, it doesn't mean you don't have COVID. So I gotta laugh.
She was a good sport about it. So I just thought that was really funny. And Phoenix says that's nuts. And Katie says, well, that's disgusting and all about control.
Isn't everything?
I would want a refund. What if someone didn't have $40 for the rapid test or didn't bring a vaccine card? Well, that was very common, Jules. That happened a lot. So yeah, I think there's for the most part,
$40 is steep considering you already paid for your ticket.
Right. And considering you bought it back in the day, like 19 months ago for a lot of folks. So I just wanted to point out that happened because I thought it was strange. And I know we're just supposed to tell you what we're seeing. And so I'm trying to do that. That's what I saw last night at the concert.
I feel like FSU football, you used to, at least when I went there, you'd print out your paper ticket and stuff, and they would check your ID to make sure it matched because, there's a lot of people trying to resell their tickets and things. Doesn't seem like it's that difficult, but yeah. What you said there, a lot of tickets are sold third party.
That's what Jules had to say, right? And in addition to that, insiders told me that there was about 15,000 people there last night. So to actually check ID and check the same name on the vaccination card or the COVID test, I think that would really slow down entry into into a Coral Sky. I want to call it Coral Sky. I think financial amphitheater. Adina says you can literally test negative in the AM, and then 5 hours later, I assume she says you're positive. Yeah, that's. Oh, there you go. You test positive.
Yeah, that could happen. It's kind of how the body works. Same for anything.
Absolutely. I'm going to let you handle this story. The feds want Brian Laundrie, right?
Yes, they have finally issued a warrant, a federal warrant for his arrest, but it's not directly related to Gabby Petito's death, which has been ruled a homicide. It is for debit card fraud. They're still looking for him. Authorities are still searching that area, Northport, the kind of like woodsy, swampy area. I heard on the Today Show this morning that he actually is like a really experienced hiker, did like the Appalachian Trail where you have like no phones and no technology. But even so, like that's a pretty rough terrain. They're looking for him there. A lot of people are speculating where he might actually be, but until they find him, I'm not really sure it can move forward much further.
So the charge is debit card fraud? That's the federal charge?
They haven't said whose debit card it was, but it was August 30th, September 1st. So, when you look at the timeline there, that is after Gabby was last heard from, but on his way back to Florida when he was coming alone without her. So, it's at this point, they are kind of playing a lot of things close to the vest. I think also, it's just kind of part of the investigation, but they're still looking for him in Northport.
Well, to me, this just feels like a very long Dateline NBC episode. Like you have all the different evidence that's slowly being presented. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. This is something, as I'm here in Jupiter, I am so proud to tell everybody about. Scuba diving magazine named Jupiter one of the top 10 places to dive. And when I went to do my story, I realized it's not really just Jupiter. It's the Gulf Stream coming up from the the Atlantic from Miami and hitting Jupiter. So it's really Singer Island up to Jupiter is kind of like this dive scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, take a look at this. I found this report on Thursday.
On this month, Scuba Diver Magazine ranks Jupiter as one of the top 10 places to dive.
WPTV's entertainment reporter T.A. Walker joins us now to show us what's making diving from Singer Island to Jupiter so appealing.
A viral TikTok video taken off the coast of Singer Island asked the question,
Ever swim next to a fish the size of a car?
You know, not many people can say they've swam with fish that are 4 times bigger than them, the size of a beetle bug car, maybe.
Mike Winkles is a professional underwater photographer based in Jacksonville. His video of him swimming with the Goliath grouper has 4.3 million views so far.
We're pretty fortunate that their migration patterns bring them right to Florida, right to us.
Palm Beach County is really lucky because we sort of stick out right into the Gulf Stream. We're the closest spot for it to travel by.
The Gulf Stream is really like a river of warm water, and it's just a highway for all kinds of incredible sea creatures.
Because we never know what we're going to see, but it's always good.
Something that Palm Beach County's tourism arm took note of.
And that is why we decided to work with Mike for the Goliath grouper video, because his content was great.
And asked Mike to create a video to attract ecotourism dollars. They say the grouper video is working.
We gained 20,000 followers overnight, so it was a massive success.
Hopefully inspiring vacationers to book their trips here.
It's seasonal, so we have sea turtles all summer long. We have Goliath groupers in the fall. We have sharks in the winter and spring.
A major ecotourism draw this time of the year.
Michael Patrick O'Neill is also an underwater photographer and says while the Goliath groupers numbers are down,
Florida is a beacon of hope worldwide because this animal has been eradicated everywhere, and here they're doing so well.
Other appealing reasons for divers is drift diving, being pushed along by the Gulf Stream.
Drift down the wreck and then go right into another wreck and maybe even another one. Kind of like you're on a joyride, floating down the reef, seeing everything.
Now we should point out the Florida Fish and Wildlife have. So yeah, what I was going to say there, Victoria, is Florida Wildlife. Fish and Wildlife, blah, 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 blah. That thing. They say that, they've been protecting the grouper for so long. And so that's why it's doing so well. You're not allowed to fish them here anymore. So that's kind of a cool thing. I think that we're number 10 in the world, or in the top 10. They're not ranked. It's just the top 10 places. So that's really cool.
So they hired like a TikTok influencer to come do the video?
They did. And this guy from Jacksonville, Mike, and he came down and they took him out Verta diving on Singer Island, took him out, and they got that video. And he was so stoked in that story. What's really funny is there's 3 bald guys in that story. There's me, Mike, and Michael.
For aerodynamics in the water, of course. Nothing to do with genetics or personal choice.
There used to be 3 guys, 3 reporters at Channel 5, 2 reporters, a photographer, and we called ourselves Bald Team 5. I'm the all that remains.
Okay, you rock it.
This one's a little interesting to me. I've been listening to this story on NPR, and I don't even know that's not what I'm looking for. I'm sorry. I've lost the video, but tell us about Haiti.
Right. So the U.S.'s special envoy, who has been there since right about after the Haitian president was assassinated, if you remember when that happened a couple months ago, that's Daniel Foote. He resigned. He really disagrees with the administration deporting a lot of these Haitian migrants back to Haiti. The latest numbers on that, the camp started about 15,000 people. Currently, it's down to about 4,000 people. And 3,200 of those have been processed into the immigration system, which means the rest have been deported back to Haiti. He disagrees with that move on a policy standpoint and believes that we should be more proactive. If you guys really want to learn a lot more, there's a Haitian advocates meeting in West Palm Beach tomorrow at 11 a.m. over at 110 South Tamarind Avenue. And they're going to be holding discussions to kind of get deeper into the issue and also advocate for those migrants at the border.
And if you get a chance, it's weird that the Haitians are in Texas, just the geography of that. So if you do a little reading, it's a very interesting read. Just Google it. You'll find it. It's just kind of interesting how that happened. Stephen, back to the Laundrie case. Hey, guys and girls, how come no one's talking about the bullet hole on the log next to where Gabby was found? You'd think that was a huge break.
When it comes to cases like that, a lot of times law enforcement won't talk about that extensively because it could kind of mess with, too many people having too much knowledge, could mess with the court case later on. So that would kind of be my guess there.
That's my guess as well. And I hadn't heard that, so that's interesting. Okay, let's switch gears again. Star Wars on the water. I'm all nerdy for all things far, far away. In a galaxy far, far away. I just love Star Wars. especially the original 3 releases. I know they're not episodes 1, 2, and 3. I get it. I don't need to be attacked by everybody.
I still agree those are the best movies, but the TV shows are really great. So you got to check those out.
Mandalorian is I'm a big fan of that as well. So check this out. We'll start down here. Where did I put that? I found an old movie trailer. Let me do one thing just so we can hear the audio and how corny this is. This is my favorite. Like, movie trailers back in the day were so, like, I forgot how corny they were, and they
were all campy.
Right?
That was the vibe.
They seemed so cool at the time, and you're like, how did I like this back in the day? So here we go.
Maybe trailers are just too dramatic now.
I'm sharing the wrong screen. Let me figure. I'm sorry, guys. There's a lot going on over here.
No problem. We got another comment on the Laundrie case. She doesn't think he's at the reserve. A lot of people agree with you. You know, the circumstances are definitely very suspicious. The parents are not facing any charges yet that we know of.
There you go. One second. Go ahead. I found it. I got it now. Okay, so Star Wars on the water, but first I want to play the movie trailer. This would be circa 1980, I believe.
Luke Skywalker and Han Solo rescued the princess, destroyed the Death Star, but their story didn't end there.
It sounds like it's 1940.
It does!
Like it's wartime.
I mean, it's all cool except for the voiceover guy.
The biggest smash of all time, bring you the next episode in the Star Wars saga.
The Star Wars saga. Anyway, Star Wars is going to be at.
What does it sound like? World War II footage, you know? It's just like
it really does. Like, you're watching it in the movie theater or something, you know, like when it was filmed. Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, that's happening at the Jupiter Point Marina. That's going to happen on Saturday night. It's $10 per watercraft. So you have as many people you want on your boat. It's $10 at 8 o'clock, and it's also known as Jupiter Recovery Day, honoring mental health illness, or not honoring, but you know, just kind of
raising awareness for. Yeah, definitely. I think that's something all of our communities could need. I think we see that more and more every day.
We absolutely do. And next up is 311. They're going to be at the, I think, Financial Amphitheater tonight. Now, what's different about them is they're not like Maroon 5. You don't need vaccination cards. You don't need proof of a negative COVID test. The show's going to get underway at 6:30. Tickets are around $40 plus tax and fee.
Am I too young or too old to know who they are? I can't figure it out, but I don't know who 311 is.
Oh, you don't? Oh. I think you do.
Maybe.
Let me get to the hook.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's one of those reggae songs that you'll hear at a bar or something. Iration was a younger band. They're going to be there, and Aya Terra is going to be there as well. So that's.
Since you know Iration.
Then Nephew Tommy he's a host on the Steve Harvey Show on X102.3. He is very funny on the radio, but he is super raunchy and crass and funny as well. He's going to be at the Palm Beach Improv with 4 shows. Tickets are $30 plus tax fee and a 2-drink minimum. And then this one seems like fun for if you're a bargain hunter. It does not have my name on it. This is not up my alley, but also out at the fairgrounds this weekend is the 30th annual gigantic garage sale. They will have it's a bargain hunter's paradise. They'll have local nonprofit organizations and families offering everything from bargains to fantastic finds. Tickets are $5 for adults, and kids 12 or under are free. And that's happening tomorrow there at the fairgrounds. So that should be.
See, I love things like that. You got to look through a lot of just random stuff, but you can find some gems. You just got to be willing to dig.
Absolutely. And then let's move on to Sunday Night Football. So it sounds like I know things about sports, but I do not. Our boss, Peter, our coworker, Peter, is a football fanatic, and I ask him every day, every week to tell me why is this game significant. So it's the Green Bay Packers versus the 49ers on Channel 5 on Sunday night. The Packers beat the 49ers last season, avenging their 2019 NFC championship game loss that sent San Francisco to the Super Bowl here in South Florida. Now, the 49ers, however, are undefeated through 2 games this season. Did I sound smart?
You sounded so smart. The only thing I would add is, like, I'm interested to see which Aaron Rodgers is going to show up this week. First week, I have on my fantasy team, awful. Had 1 point. Second week, a little bit. We know he kind of doesn't want to be there. He'd rather be hosting Jeopardy. Like, watch him get offered that for next season. But yeah, so it should be interesting. Nothing to do with talent. He's just kind of become a bit of a head case. Yeah,
I keep seeing like these really deranged looking photos of him on social media. Like, I it's something that's in the extracurricular in the cosmos in my life. Like, I want to know about it, but I don't know about it. Yeah,
maybe he's sad about the Olivia Munn, John Mulaney news. I don't know. He just really wants to host Jeopardy, but he has been off his game. He came back a little bit in the second week. Maybe he can start to rally now, but at least first week, it was almost sad to see.
Yeah, but this is these guys are very excited. Our Sunday night football pub of the week is the Pigsty Barbecue in Boynton Beach. They are a Packers bar, and they tell me they're going to have specials on Bud and Miller Lite, and they're going to have some food specials too. So they're excited. So if you're a Packers fan, that's the place for you guys to go gather this week as you watch Sunday night football. All right,
I'm just surprised there's a Packers bar in Boynton Beach. You learned something new.
Well, actually, the Packers fans are very organized because some of these teams are trying to find like a Cowboys bar or what have you, and I can't find one in South Florida. Yes, I know I can find Giants and Jets and Patriots and all the Northeast teams. I get it. But some of these other, like San Francisco and Green Bay, that's kind of a tall order for this area, right? But the Pigsty and Boynton Beach, they definitely are Packers fans. They have on their social media their Green Bay jerseys and everything. So that's pretty cool. So this weekend's the Box Gallery, it's right there on Belvedere Road, just east of I-95. It sounds, every time I look at my email, there's a press release from them, and I kind of wanted to figure out why. And so I got turned on to them because of National Hispanic Heritage Month. And so we're featuring them for Hidden Gems this month. And the reason why they're really a hidden gem is more than them just being a gallery. Take a look.
Box Gallery on Belvedere Road is truly a hidden gem.
I'm what they call an artist or activist curator. I create the agendas that I want to present, and that makes it very unique.
The venue is more than a gallery. It serves as a neighborhood meeting house for people to discuss things like politics and social justice.
There is so much concern with social justice that I think it has affected almost every artist, even abstract artists.
And to celebrate all heritages by creating a space to develop richer understandings of all backgrounds.
I think we've been very successful in the last 7 years that we've been here in rolling conversations between people that thought they were diametrically opposed.
One of the conversations Rolando is bringing to the gallery for National Hispanic Month, it is an exhibit that chronicles the desolation caused by people to Colombia's environment.
Moises Morales Duque from Colombia.
First, Duque has people create physical damage to his canvases.
Kind of stepped on by children, by people leaving their prints on.
Then past the human destruction, in the background, he paints palm trees, gorillas, parrots, and more.
And then carefully goes through the negative spaces.
Symbolically, he wants people to see the impact they have, either good or bad, on flora and fauna.
Part of that chaos that we are creating, that we don't see it.
Empathize a little bit more.
Empathy, a trait the artists hope all people will gain this month.
I hope they take away enrichment of that culture and a better understanding of who those people are.
Empathy for the 30-plus Hispanic nations in the Americas.
Just trying to expose the brown as well as the white and the black community from the variety of different countries that we come from.
So what's really interesting about this, Victoria, is tomorrow that gallery with all those artists' work, it's going to be set up, and you can go by and check it out. So that's something else you can do this weekend.
It's beautiful, and you get to learn something.
But did you understand, like in Colombia, they have some environmental issues. So they're trying to say, like, if you hurt or help the environment, your presence is something that is affecting it. So just be aware, self-aware of what you're doing. And I love how he put all that together. So it's such a big community hub, especially for the Hispanic and gay community there on Belvedere Road. And Net says, I love that. Well, you're gone now.
We love it too.
You're out of here, right? You're for the next few Fridays, right? You're busy.
Yeah, busy, getting married, going on my honeymoon, just normal things people do.
Well,
so yeah, sorry, I will be on the other side of the world, but I'll see you guys.
Where are you going?
We're going on safari in Kenya.
Wow. Well, speaking of seeing like people's footprints on an area, you definitely will be able to experience a lot of that and a lot of beautiful wildlife. So congratulations, and we're all proud of you.
I mean, yeah, we made sure to book like an eco-friendly tour. Like we're gonna get to see the animals, but it's not like a tour where you're trying to like go up and touch them or mess with them. Leave only footprints, take only pictures. That's kind of what we're going for.
I love that. And if it doesn't work out, flight delays, we can always blindfold you and drop you in the front of Lion Country Park.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, 6 1/2 dozen of the other.
Right. All right, bye. Have a good weekend, guys. Use your turn signal.